The whole idea of a flying car has felt like it's just around the corner forever, right? Well, billions of dollars are pouring into making it a reality, and there is a massive global race to be the first to launch. But here's the thing. While most of the companies you've heard of are talking about 2026, one country has already left the runway. So let's get into how China is kind of quietly starting to dominate the race for the skies.
It really is the question on everyone's mind. We see all these incredible prototypes, we hear about the huge investments in companies like Joby and Archer, and it feels so close. But still, you have to wonder, when are we actually going to get to fly in one of these things? Well, here's the answer, and it might just blow you away. They're already here. Seriously. While the West is still targeting a launch in 2026 or later, commercial, passenger-carrying electric air taxis are already up and running in China. The future didn't just show up, it decided to land in a different part of the world first. Now, to be fair, this is absolutely a global race. Over in the West, you've got these incredible companies, these giants, like Joby Aviation and Archer, and they are pushing the limits of technology. But they're also navigating this incredibly complex, long, and expensive certification process. So there's a ton of hype, but the reality on the ground is really, really challenging. And that brings us to this really interesting split in the road. It's like we're watching a tale of two different skies, with two completely different approaches to getting these electric vertical takeoff and landing vehicles, eVTOLs, up in the air with people in them. So in the West, you've got the FAA in the United States and ESA in Europe. Their process for certifying an aircraft is, it's exhaustive. It's incredibly expensive, and it is built on decades of hard-earned safety rules, which is great, but it also means it's super slow. Now contrast that with China's aviation authority, the CAAC. They operate in a much more agile, top-down system that is designed to prioritize getting these things flying, deploying them quickly, and learning from actual real-world operations. Okay, so who are these high flyers that are actually benefiting from this faster approach? Let's take a look at the companies that are already pioneering commercial flights in China's airspace. Right at the front of the pack is a company called eHang. They're based in Guangzhou, and they are making huge waves with their autonomous aerial vehicles. And yes, you heard that right. We are talking about pilotless passenger drones that are already certified and flying commercially. Just look at this timeline. It really shows you how unbelievably fast they're moving. In October of 2023, they got their type certificate. That's the one that says the basic design is safe. Then just 2 months later, they got the airworthiness certificate, which says a specific aircraft is good to go. The final piece of the puzzle is the production certificate, which is what lets them start mass producing these things. Getting that full set of approvals is what unlocked commercial operations for them. It's a world first. So what's the game plan here? Well, they're not trying to replace your flight from New York to LA. Not yet, anyway. They are being super practical, starting with missions that actually work with today's battery tech. We're talking about aerial sightseeing tours and short little hops across a city. It's a really smart way to get in the game and start learning. But it's not all just about moving people around. The cargo side of this industry is also exploding, and a company called AutoFlight, based in Shanghai, is leading that charge. They've hit their own major certification milestones, and their vision is basically to create these, airborne freight trucks for the future. And just to give you a sense of scale, their big cargo drone, the Carryall, can haul a 2-ton payload. Yeah, 2 tons. This is not for delivering your lunch. This is for serious, heavy-duty logistics, like flying supplies out to offshore oil platforms. It has already made history as the world's first 2-ton eVTOL to get the full trifecta of certifications. And believe me, the whole ecosystem over there is just incredibly diverse. You've got companies like XPeng AeroHT, which is working on a modular flying car concept, basically an EV with a detachable drone, and they've reportedly got over 7,000 pre-orders. Then you have TCAB Tech, which has pulled in over $100 million to focus on tourism routes. So this is not just 1 or 2 companies making a splash. It's a whole industry that is just thriving and pushing forward. All of this begs a really important question. How is this all happening so fast? Because it's not just a few scrappy startups. No, there's a much bigger, more powerful systemic force at work here. And that is the key to understanding China's massive head start. So what is it? What is the secret sauce? How did China get commercially certified air taxis in the sky while almost everyone else is still deep in the testing phase? Well, the answer has a name. It's called the low-altitude economy. And this is not just some catchy phrase. It is a full-blown national strategy. The Chinese government is literally building this market from the ground up. They're creating special test zones, they're pushing cities to become the first customers, and they're fast-tracking all the approvals needed for commercial flights. And just to be clear, this is not some informal suggestion. The Ministry of Industry and Information Technology put out an official government roadmap with a very clear goal: achieve full-scale commercial use of eVTOLs for things like urban transport, logistics, and even emergency response, all by 2027. That is an incredibly aggressive state-mandated target. And this really gets us to the heart of the matter. China's big advantage right now isn't some secret magical battery or a revolutionary new wing design. It's something much more practical and maybe even more powerful. It's their sheer ability to execute. Let this one sink in, because it's the key takeaway. China's advantage isn't about having some magic batteries that nobody else has. It's about system-level execution. They are just better and faster at putting all the different pieces of the puzzle together to create a working, breathing industry. And this execution advantage really stands on three pillars. First, that coordinated government policy we just talked about. Second, they're focused on practical missions first. Start with what works today, like sightseeing and cargo. And third, and this one is so important, they can iterate faster. By getting aircraft into the real world, they can learn and adapt at a crazy pace, solving the actual problems that pop up, not just the ones you find in a lab. So, to wrap it all up, at the end of the day, everybody trying to build these things faces the exact same laws of physics: battery density, how much you can carry, how far you can go. China hasn't figured out how to escape physics. What they have figured out is how to move faster to solve all the practical, regulatory, and operational problems right here on planet Earth. And that leaves us with a pretty critical question to think about. While the West continues its very careful, methodical approach, China is out there collecting priceless real-world data with every single flight they make. That experience could give them a lead that becomes very, very difficult for anyone else to close. So you have to ask yourself, what is the future of our cities going to look like? Will it be shaped by that slow, safety-first approach, or by the kind of rapid, real-world innovation that we're seeing play out in China right now? If you want to stay on top of this race and everything else shaping our autonomous future, make sure you subscribe to AutonoMesh. Thanks for tuning in.